Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kenny here, and in this video, I want to give you guys 3 ways to be more creative. As an entrepreneur or a professional, as a student, your creativity is super important, and I just want to give you some lesser known tactics that you can implement into your life or your business to make you more creative, so that the innovations that you make and the changes that you make in your business, your job, or your life are more effective, and so that you're also coming up with more ideas, because creativity is super important. And the more ideas that you can come up with, the more change you can make. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right in to the first tactic. And these tactics are pretty simple, but not a lot of people do them. And if you implement them into your life, I can guarantee that you'll see more creativity and more ideas coming out of your brain. So the first one is really simple. Just start journaling more. And what I mean is, you want a place to record your ideas. This is something that I do a lot of. If I look at my desk over here, I've got, let me use this notebook. I've got tons of notebooks that I write ideas in. This is just one. I think this was a website design or something like that. But whenever you have ideas, whenever they're flowing through your mind, you got to make sure that you document them. So this does a few things. First of all, it puts the idea that you have in your brain into writing. And therefore, you have a better chance of not losing it to the abyss that's out there. I'm sure you've had lots of great ideas that, maybe a couple days later or a couple weeks later, they're gone. Maybe you thought they were great ideas at the time, but if you don't record them, a lot of them are going to be lost. And then another thing that this does is it creates a feedback loop of constant improvement for creativity. As you're writing your ideas every day, especially if you do it every day, that's something that's important. If you create a new habit of it, you'll find yourself coming up with ideas more often. So with that said, let me show you some more of the notebooks that I've got over here. Let me see. So this is one that I actually use for my podcast. When I'm coming up with ideas for questions to ask my guests, I think that it's a great way to come up with that. So there's a couple things that you can do with your journals. You can write down words if you come up with stories or ideas. You can draw pictures, come up with process ideas. Those are a couple of things that are really beneficial. So Leonardo da Vinci is very famous for the notebooks that he created for his ideas and his inventions. So wouldn't you want to be a little bit more like Leonardo da Vinci in terms of his creativity and the ideas that he came up with? I know I would be. He's one of the most powerful people that I've studied, one of the most influential creative geniuses. So his habits, I definitely take them with a grain of salt. So the first one is just start journaling more, and it's really helpful. Now, let's move into the second tactic. The second tactic is simply to just start thinking about things in different ways. Especially once you're really into the routine of how things are. A lot of people fall into autopilot of how they think about things. Maybe you have a certain process at your business or at your job where you're doing things the same way every day. Well, when you fall into that pattern, that same pattern of thought, it's hard to be creative. But you can force yourself to start thinking outside of the box, to start coming up with new ideas. Now, let me explain what I mean by this in just a really quick example. So what you want to do is you want to start with an everyday normal object or process. Let me give you an example. Let me see what I got in here. Let's take this. So this is a pop filter that I use for my podcast for some of my recordings. And most people, when they see this, it's just an ordinary pop filter, That's all that goes to their mind. But if you want to exercise your creativity a little bit, the key is to think about that object in a unique way that you haven't thought about before. You can do this with an object, a process, a person, anything in reality. So when we take about this, when we look at this pop filter, what are some ideas that come through your mind that allow you to think about it in a different way? So I know one thing is I could use it as a fly swatter. Now personally, of course, I would not use it as a fly swatter. But for this example, we're thinking about it in different ways. And then you can come up with multiple ideas as well. So what else could you use this for? A frying pan? It probably wouldn't be a very effective frying pan, but maybe if you're watching a cartoon or something, one of the characters is using it as a frying pan. Maybe I'm like flipping some eggs. What else can you use it for? You can use it as a mask. Probably not a very good mask. It'll probably look kind of creepy. What else can we use? Maybe a stop sign. If you're driving down the road and you saw this, wouldn't you want to stop? I probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't either. But anyway, so that's pretty much what you want to do. Let's take another example really quickly. What else do I have? Let's take this. So I have this card that was actually sent by one of my podcast guests. His name is Kent Sanders. And so when you have this card, I won't show you the insides. It's just a few messages from him. Sorry about the squeaking on my chair. I gotta get a new chair. But anyway, so this is just a normal card. how could we think a little bit creatively about this? How could we think about it differently? Well, as usual, there's an unlimited amount of ideas. So it could be used as a plate for food. You could turn it into a paper airplane. Of course, I won't do that. You could, you could wear it as a necklace. I don't know if I'd want to be seen wearing that necklace, of course, but you get the point. If I wear this earring, that's another potential idea. Just thinking about things in weird ways is a great way to exercise your creativity because you're getting yourself outside of your normal modes of thinking. So imagine what you can do for your business or your life if you think about ordinary processes in different ways. Just imagine the ideas that you can come up with. So with that said, let's move on to the third tactic for increasing your creativity as a professional or an entrepreneur. So this one's pretty simple. And it's something that you might do already, and if you don't, then it's perfect for you. But it's to just start trying new things. And the new things that I'm talking about in specific are creative passions. So maybe it's a musical instrument, maybe you want to learn to paint or draw. A lot of people tell themselves that they can't draw because they're not creative. Now, I'll say this, that the skill of drawing or painting isn't a creative skill. It's a mechanical skill, how well you can use your arms and your fingers and your eyes. Creativity is simply coming up with new ideas and making different connections in the brain. So a very skilled drawer or painter can be uncreative. But nevertheless, still expanding your skills and what you're able to do in terms of an instrument or a new skill allows you to be more creative because you can connect those new skills to something you already know or something that you already do. For instance, maybe you could learn to play guitar, you could learn to play piano, which is something that I've been wanting to do, but I just haven't gotten around to doing yet, and maybe you're in the same boat as well. There's probably a ton of things that you want to do that you just haven't gotten around to doing. So if you go out there and you just try those things for maybe 10 or 15 minutes a day, you can make a lot of progress in terms of your creative thinking potential. And so what I want to offer you is this idea. If you pair all three of these ideas together, imagine what that will do for your creativity. So one, make sure you do some journaling. Make sure you're always writing down your ideas. Then, make sure that you're always just trying new things. You're expanding what's possible. Learn an instrument. Go somewhere new. Meet someone new. And then finally, make sure that you're always thinking about ideas or objects or processes in your life and business in different ways. So in conclusion, I really want to thank you for watching this video. Hopefully, it can help you to be more creative in your life and your business. If you found this video to be enjoyable, share it with your friends, share it with anyone who you think might benefit from this information, and also consider hitting that subscribe button down there so that you can stay up to date in my latest techniques and news for how to be more creative and use your brain a little better for your business and for your life. And furthermore, if you find that to be interesting, feel free to join our new Facebook group. It's called the Entrepreneur's Creative Advantage. It's a group for entrepreneurs and professionals, and you don't have to just be an entrepreneur. If you're a student or someone who wants to learn how to be more creative or just to network with people, feel free to join our Facebook group as well. So again, it's the Entrepreneur's Creative Advantage. You can join for free on Facebook. I'll approve you as soon as possible. In conclusion, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and make sure you consider subscribing. So in conclusion, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.